The Lego Batman movie. Well, let's be honest, Batman isn't lucky nowadays when it comes to movies. It's as if after The Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader went into a downhill spiral where he went from the most celebrated cinematic superhero to an absolute joke where he's so dark and serious that he would go back to be taken seriously as much as the Adam West Batman.
Find him! Save Martha!
I know that some people can argue that his movies are still good with the straight-to-DVD animated films, but even that can be debatable. With that said, you know who could be considered the best movie portrayal of Batman of the decade?
Relax, everybody, I'm here. Batman!
Yep, not an Academy Award-winning actor, but one that is literally a toy. So if we are going to do The Dark Knight justice, will Legos actually make a good solution? Or will it go as smoothly as the production of The Batman? Let's find out. The story. The movie is crafted to be more of a character-driven story, so of course this is all about Batman. It takes a look into his core characteristics, like how he is a sole vigilante, and use that to look at both how it makes him Batman, but also some of his flaws as well. Especially in recent years, he is known to always work alone, but his loneliness can cause a massive conflict with his fear of going back into a family, which the movie plays with that very well with the inclusion of characters like Barbara Gordon, Dick Grayson, and even the Joker. It's not even just about his dark solitude, but it also looks into the importance of Batman. When Barbara became the new commissioner, the relationship between the Dark Knight and the police force really gets tested to see what can be the pure and proper way to stop crime in Gotham. However, even if it does have a strong story structure planned out, it doesn't forget that it is still a superhero movie, so the action will also take a significant importance here. Luckily, the movie knows how to take the action into a grand scale. There's rarely a moment where Batman has to fight off just one bad guy. They mostly come in a giant group to spread total chaos in Gotham City. Also, speaking of the superhero element, the one thing the crew must have worked on the hardest has to be the research on Batman's history. Throughout the feature, there are numerous of nods to all the Batman moments from his very beginnings all the way up to Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, used either to explain more about Batman himself or even for the sake of humor.
Sir, I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997, 1995 and 1992 and 1989, and that weird one in 1966.
But as much as it is all about Batman, it doesn't forget that it is still a Lego movie, which is why it shares the movie's style of humor and some plot elements like being a master builder. Even if it doesn't take itself very seriously, the movie can tell the story of Batman better than a lot of other films. The animation. Anybody can tell you that the strongest element of the Lego movie is easily the animation and how it was able to bring Legos to life in a way that audiences have never seen. This was carried on to the Lego Batman movie, where it is still visually stunning to watch. I would say that about 98% of what you see on screen is meant to look like it was made of Legos. From the architecture of Gotham, to the large monsters, to Batman's numerous of special vehicles, to even the little plastic details on the characters themselves, the production design keeps a careful eye to make sure that everything looks handmade and something that you can buy in real life at a stupidly ridiculous price. Seriously, have you ever seen how much a little box goes for nowadays? But anyways, back onto the movie. The character animation was also another important factor to seem like they're all Legos, since the movements are done to create the illusion of stop motion and keep it very limited to how a Lego figure actually moves.
My only trouble is these pants are just a little tight.
I got an idea. Rip! It's better! Now I'm free, now I'm moving. Come on, Batman, let's get grooving!
However, there is one piece that may be out of place in this picture. Remember how I mentioned that this is 98% Legos? Well, some of the effects are the 2%, where stuff like water and smoke are just that instead of being Lego pieces. They're still well done, but it does take away that magic where even the smallest detail is a toy. But like I said before, this movie does contain a lot of action scenes, and the animation really was capable of delivering them to make them both grand and intense. Considering the large scale that the animators put Batman into, it emulates the Lego Movie on the use of its creativity with all the transforming parts and the fast-paced tempo. Brick by brick, the animation knows exactly how to place itself as a great achievement for this feature. The characters. If there is one thing that this film actually did better than the Lego Movie, it is structuring some well-developed characters. Starting with Batman himself, like I said before, this movie is entirely devoted to looking at the layers of the superhero, and try out new things to experiment with how Bruce would handle specific types of situations, like how he really feels about working alone, and how the death of his parents affect him psychologically in the long run. He does try to cover his inner pain with a more egotistical flair, but it's more thanks to the movie's tone of not really taking itself seriously that helps not interpret that as just Batman being a hateable dick and show that there is more to him under the mask. There is also Dick Grayson, who is now the highly naive adopted son of Bruce that's just really happy to be a part of the family and is also a huge Batman fan.
It's the Batcave! Oh my gosh, look, it's the Bat
Don't touch that.
The Bat Zeppelin!
Don't touch that either.
It's the Bat Kayak! Do I get a costume?
Alfred also plays a larger role where he's not just Bruce's butler, but also plays as a father figure to him that knows what he needs, even if it won't be an easy job just to take care of the guy. Then there's Barbara Gordon, who is now the new commissioner at Gotham that can have some conflicts with Batman by how he fights crime and how his actions are only temporary to getting rid of the bad guys. And then you have the Joker, whom out of all the characters feels the least like the DC character he's supposed to play. I get the development of wanting to be Batman's greatest enemy, and it is good, but it's just that Zach Galifianakis' performance doesn't feel like the Joker character at all. If he was one of the more obscure villains of Gotham, then it would have been a better fit. But instead, we got someone who can be best described as the Joker that's not the Joker.
You should be terrified.
Why?
Because
I will be taking over the city.
As for the rest, it is a giant list of cameos from all the villains to the whole Justice League crew and even beyond. They may not have much of a significance to this feature, but they do play a small part that can give them a point to be here and a moment to shine. Rather they be rebooted or refined, the characters definitely give all that you want and more in a Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie not only succeeds as a great comedic superhero movie, but it arguably achieved more than what the Lego movie did. While it provides a strong story that shows more of who Batman is under the mask, amazing animation that stays true to the spirit of Legos, and great interpretations of some of the most beloved DC characters, it simultaneously acts as a parody and a tribute to the legacy of the Caped Crusader. This is definitely a movie that anybody could watch and have a good time, but I would just like to add that the more you know about Batman and the more that you like the Lego movie, the more you'll appreciate and love this for everything that it has. Technically, this could count as the best DC film in years, so it's only appropriate that I would honor Batman with the AniMat's seal of approval.
I deserve this today. Today I deserve it.
Okay, are you making some of those up?
nope, they're all real. Probably worth the Google.